Hi, it's Chris, not in my cider shed and not with another cider to try. And it's not a perry either. And it's not a beer. So what is it? It's a wine. Look at that. That tells you something, doesn't it? It's going to be a fizzy wine by the looks of things, isn't it? So what is it? Well, I mentioned it in the last video. So I've taken my sling off. Just for a break, but I've got to try not to use this hand. Fenny Castle Blanc de Noir. That's what we've got today. Fenny Castle Blanc de Noir. So Fenny Castle is the wine side of Tor Cider Company, of which we've had several lately. The last video we tried a freebie that James Cummins, the cider maker / winemaker at Fenny Castle, sent to me as a gift, and we liked it very much. He sent me it in a box. I'd actually ordered this, and he popped in the box with this. He popped that as a freebie, but this is the thing I'd got because I wanted to try it because I enjoyed their ciders. So I thought, let's try something from their winery, from their vineyards. So this is what I decided to try. So it's a Blanc de Noir. So Blanc white, de Noir as in dark black. So it's a white wine made from dark grapes. So Pinot Noir is the varietal. And anybody who knows anything about wine knows that all grape juice is white. All grape juice is white. It's contact with the skins that gives it colour. So if you've got a red skinned grape, if you leave it on the skins, you'll get a red wine. Okay? With white wines from red grapes, like this, you don't leave it on the skins, you don't give them the skin contact, therefore you don't get the colour, so you get white juice. But it's from a dark grape, a Pinot Noir grape. A Pinot Noir is probably my favourite red grape. It's also one of the most expensive red grapes if you want to get the good stuff. Like, Burgundy is the classic home of Pinot Noir, and if you've got a passion for red Burgundy, then you better have a deep wallet because it ain't cheap. But by God, it can be delicious. But Pinot Noir from all over the place. I love Pinot Noir. It's my favourite red variety, probably. Anyway, I just got another tweet there. Hope you enjoyed that Twitter sound thing. All right. So we see what it says in the back and then open it. Yes, Chris. Okay. This beautifully balanced sparkling wine has been handcrafted at our small family-run winery using Pinot Noir grapes from our steeply sloping vineyard on the edge of the Somerset Level. So Somerset sparkling wine. Don't think I've had one of those before. This wine is pale golden colour with crisp, vibrant acidity, balanced by rich notes of lemon, apple, and brioche. So the brioche will come from sitting on the lees. So it's the champagne method we've talked about before. So basically, you make a base wine, you bottle it with some sugar, so you can put in, grape juice or dose it with sugar or whatever you like. Then you seal it with a crown cork, not with a crown cap rather than a cork, and you leave it to ferment. And towards the end of that fermentation, or when you're ready to, you'll start to riddle it. And riddling it, you get those air frames like this, and you riddle them. So you start to turn them, and as you turn them in those frames, they go from being sort of 45 degrees down to 45, up like that, pardon me, to 45 degrees down. So all the lees and the dead yeast and all that stuff comes into the neck. Then what you do once it's in the neck is you freeze the neck, so it turns into a solid chunk of lees in the neck, and you disgorge. And the pressure from the fizzy wine in there shoots out that lump of lees that's in the neck. Then top it back up again, bang a cork in it. You can put some more sugar in if you want it to ferment a little bit more. Put a cork in it. Once that's gone through its secondary ferment, third fermentation effectively, if you like, it's ready to sell, ready to drink. So that's basically traditional method, or if you're champagne, you can call it the champagne method. If you're not, you have to call it the traditional method. So this is traditional method, which is basically based on the champagne method. So let's take this foil off and give it a go. My wife's been bugging me to open this. She loves sparkling wine. She loves sparkling wine. I like sparkling wine. Don't love it as much as she does. I mean, if something's good, it's good. Doesn't matter if it's sparkling, still, red, white, beer, cider, whatever. Doesn't matter. I want to move back a bit. So, got my tasting glass. Now, this hasn't been shaken about. It's been in the fridge, so it should not blow up on me. But let's see, shall we? Let's see if we can get some exciting footage of Chris getting sprayed with booze again. I don't expect to. It's fine. Right, let's open the sucker. Or not. Oh, yeah, there we go. Whee! Nice. pop there. Pour a bit out. Nice mousse, as one would imagine. So what does it say now? Actually, it's got a little sticker on it. Independent English Wine Awards, Silver Medal 2020. What year is this actually? Is this a vintage? Doesn't say if it's a vintage or not. I mean, champagnes are usually NV, non-vintage. So champagne houses will blend each year to get the house characteristic. And that's the job of the blenders to go, we want it to taste like this champagne every year, but every vintage is different. So you have to blend differently every year to get the flavour that you're looking for that represents your house style, if you like. Every so often when they get a really good year, they'll do a vintage one, but generally speaking they're non-vintage. It doesn't say on here whether it's vintage or not. Maybe if James sees this, you can post and tell me. Hello James, if you're watching. Thank you very much for this and the other stuff that you sent. So, bright, sparkling, as you'd expect it to be bright because of discord, it's taken out all the stuff that would make it hazy. Nice fine bubbles. We saw there was a nice mousse. It's bright. It's kind of very pale gold. That. Let's give it a sniff. Now you notice I'm not using a champagne flute. I mean, champagne flutes look pretty, but when you want to actually swirl it around and sniff it, they're useless. Tasting glasses. It's standard tasting glasses. What you want, something like this. You want to get the most out of it. Yeah. There's that brioche thing. You can only really get that by letting it sit on the lees. That's kind of what it is. It's to do with the autolysis, I believe. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, there's like a pastry, bready element to it. And on top of that, there is a, well, I don't want to say, there is a lemoniness, actually. Yeah, I'll go sort of slight lemon character over the top of that. Yeah, there's a richness with that acidity, and just smelling it's making my mouth water actually. A kind of lemon, sort of suggestion of lemon. That crispness, just the thought of it to making my mouth water here, which is what acidity does. Okay, let's try it. Oh wow. This is rich. It's rich on the palate. It really is. Bubbles are great. You really need bubbles with something this rich, just to lessen the richness. Also, the thing about bubbles is they're little pockets of aromatics. Can't talk today. Aromatics. So when they burst, because a lot of flavour, most of flavour, actually taste is what you get in the tongue. Flavour is what you get at the back of your nose. So you've got these little bubbles of aromatics. They burst in your mouth, send these waves of aromatics up the back of your nose, and you get more from it, to be honest. You get a lot more from it. When this stuff goes flat, it's not half as good, partially because it's lost that ability to deliver aromatics to the olfactory bulb at the back of your nose. There you go. It's a really good balance, this, between acidity and richness. This is a pretty rich wine. Yeah. That really round, intense, I don't know what to say, stone fruit. I don't know what character it is really. Kind of stone fruity, I guess, but with layers of lemon over the top of it. And that brioche thing. I mean, I would say it's dry. Because of that richness, it feels like it's got sweetness to it. And it needs that lemon sort of acid character to balance it. Yeah, this is much more interesting than a lot of champagnes you would get. A lot of champagnes you get, like things like Noir Chandon, it's just kind of dull. Just kind of dull. I find the Blanc de Noir tend to have a richness to them, which is far more interesting to my palate. But with you pay so much for champagne, just for the name champagne. You know, half the time it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. People drink it and go, oh, it's great at champagne. You know what? It's probably not half as good as a lot of wines that are like, 30%, 40%, 50% less. They can't be called champagne, but are made in the same style elsewhere. Because you're not paying for the label champagne. This is big, bold, rich. It's a sipper. It's not something you chug. I mean, we shouldn't really chug this sort of wine anyway, but you know what I mean. It's not. It is rich. Apple and brioche. You know what? I was trying not to say apple. I was trying not to say it because of the cider thing. But there is an element of apple, but it's an element of like dessert or culinary apple. Not a cider apple. You know, like Suffolk, Kent, East Coast style ciders, see what I mean? So like, I don't know, Braeburns and things like that. That's the kind of thing it's making me think of. With a real richness, sweet, kind of real sweetness, with that lemon character, coats your palate. It's a big one. And I like it. I like it, but it's a sipper. And I'd like to have it with something. I'd like to have it with something with a little bit more acidity and possibly a hint of salt as well to balance that sort of richness. I think it'd be great. I'm obviously thinking cheese. I'm thinking like, what am I thinking? Brie Severin, something super rich like Brie Severin. So triple cream cheese where they add double cream to the milk to make it even richer than it would be with just full fat milk. The thing about those cheeses is they're a one-trick pony, but it's quite a good trick. And actually, the bubbles in this scrub the fats off your palate really well. So they're great to have with this. They really are good to have with this. But I'm actually thinking like fresh goat's cheese. That's what I'm thinking. Something like a pre-drained curd style of thing. It's kind of a technical thing. But Langue de Course, Dorstone, if you want to go for an English style cheese from Neil's Creamery in Herefordshire. What else? Innis, you know, Innis log, Innis brick, that kind of thing if you want to go English as well. So yeah, great, really good. And I wish I had some cheese to have with it, but I don't. Tough. I am going to get some cheese. I'll do a few more cheese tastings as well, I think. I watched a film I'd done recently, well not recently, a few months ago, and had some cheese in it. And I really enjoyed watching it. Because I love cheese. And I've sold it for so many decades that, you know, I know plenty about it. So actually, it's a good thing to have with the cider, because with the cider / wine, whatever. I know, because it's just fun. It's all fun. It's all good stuff. All right then. Well, thank you. I'm going to have to share this with my wife now. I'll be back very soon. I don't think I've got anything to try now for a bit, but I'm going to be getting some new ciders in shortly from Ross and Wye and a few other people. And as soon as I do, I'll be tasting them. I'm sure something will bubble up in the meantime, though, that I want to taste. But until then, cheers.